Like,
it's very numerous.
I'm not even sure the market has been able to react to all of the news yet. And I mean, the few ones
They
that
will
I've
react to
captured,
it. I think
the few ones that I've
they will
captured,
react to it.
it's each one of them would
Yeah.
have moved the market by 20% on a good day individually. So
Mhm.
to now say that you're having that back to back almost every day of the week is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. And
Yeah.
it just shows that, you know, we are in that season. And as you rightly said, you cannot afford to miss out on,
Yes.
whether it's calls for token buys or to take action on specific
Mhm.
tokens.
Yeah.
One cannot afford to miss out because we are in that season where the price movement is very time sensitive.
Yes.
So it's important that you keep your eye on the market, uh, and I mean do have a plan on how you want to exit the markets. Well, not exit the market fully, but how you want to take profits. I think is one of the things I mentioned briefly today, in addition to our live demo that I promised. So let's get started. As usual, we'll go through the happenings of the week, the one we consider of significant importance, and I will explain why I think they they carry such importance and what they might mean to our portfolios. And then we'll go through our normal crypto vital signs, then the crypto drip, and then we'll talk about everything that's happening in terms of the knowledge transfer. And then we'll take questions and answer. I hope that we'll still have enough time at the end of the day because there's quite a number of news items to go through today. But I will try to go through all of them. Please mute your mic if you're just joining, or I will have to mute it for you. So, as I said earlier on, it's time to dig in. Muibat, can you please please mute your mic because it's sending feedback to the guys on Instagram. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about was market updates, and I did see with my Kuro eyes, as they say, yesterday, Bitcoin hitting 48,900 and was just 100 short of 49,000 before retracing, largely due to a sell wall, I would say. I think there's a very large number of whales selling significant portions at 48, 49,000. It since rebounded. And I was telling someone yesterday that even the whales that are saying that they're selling off at 49 might soon have to buy back at 51 because there isn't so much supply. And if you dig down into the other books of many of the exchanges, what you find is that it's not like anybody is really selling Bitcoin. It's just people shorting the price that's pushing the price down. So it's inevitable that the price will bounce back up. As when I start showing the technical analysis, you see what I mean when I show you the hourly charts and how the price has behaved since that sell off yesterday night, essentially. But because of that volatility, we've seen a wild swing in the price. This week, we've gone as far as 48,009 and we've gone as low as 44,007. But the trend is still intact. And as a matter of fact, nothing has changed significantly in the outlook. And we believe that the trend is just getting more and more confirmed on the fundamental side. The short-term outlook is still between 50 and 53,000 USD for one Bitcoin, which I think is attainable between today and Sunday night, depending on what the weekend brings. Because we've just had too much fundamentals coming in one week. Then, in terms of regulation, you did hear the story about the Nigerian CBN Bitcoin saga. I'm not going to go into that. We talked about that last week, but they seem to be stylishly backtracking and looking for a way to back out of the mess they got themselves into. But regardless, in the same vein, we had Kenya. the Central Bank of Kenya coming out to say we're putting Bitcoin in our reserves. Just for the benefit of people who do not understand what that means. When a central bank comes out to say we're putting Bitcoin in our reserve, what they're saying is that we're going to be buying Bitcoin ourselves and we're going to be keeping it as part of our assets. So, as part of the function of central banks create monetary stabilization for their economies. And usually, to do that, they have pretty much all forms of currencies for most of their trading partners in the world. Of course, by default, they'll have huge reserves of US dollar because that's the world's current reserve currency. And in some cases, they'll have gold. So people like UK have tons of gold. Singapore have tons of gold by proxy. Russia, India, China, US, they have a lot of gold as part of their central bank currency reserves. So what this is signifying is a trend that you're going to see throughout 2021. And it might be one of the reasons why, even when we have a bear market after this bull run this year, we might not really go down so much in terms of Bitcoin price. We might go flat out on altcoin prices, but I don't think we're going to descend so low from our all-time high. We might shave off 50%, we might shave off 60% when we eventually get to a very all-time high, maybe like 400 or 380,000 USD Bitcoin. But I don't think we're going to see a very significant low like we did the last time because of these very pivotal shifts in the adoption of Bitcoin. So this is the first central bank that is openly declaring. Many are already definitely considering it. They've not just declared. I know that Iran did not declare openly, but last year they were willing to buy off the Bitcoins that were being mined in their countries from the miners directly. So we can say in effect that as of now, 3 countries will definitely have Bitcoin on their balance sheets, Kenya being the third. We talked about Venezuela last year as well. So you have Venezuela, Iran, and China. And Kenya. Of course, Venezuela, for obvious purposes, the economy is in shambles. The currency is collapsed. They need a stable reserve currency. Then they are under sanction. Same with Iran. Iran is under sanction from the US. So Bitcoin provides them an escape hatch because, in a way, I say this with caution. Sanctions are like bullying instruments, or like governmental bullying instruments to other governments, to make them comply, or correctional instrument. Let me not say bullying, depending on whose perspective you're looking at it from. So they're correctional instruments to make other nations do what you want, especially people like US who have the reserve currency in their custody. So, but Bitcoin is providing the way out, and I'm impressed and I'm happy that and Kenya has decided to take the bull by the horn over and above the giant of Africa in adopting Bitcoin as part of its treasury reserves. What that means, to explain it in plain terms, is that the price of Bitcoin is going to infinity. It sounds crazy, but think about it this way. Central banks have infinite amount of money, infinite. So these are just emerging markets. By the time major central banks start to take positions, then you understand what I mean when I say this is literally. So this news on its own should have taken Bitcoin from where today it's maybe like 10 times already, because what it means is that the central banks have a lot of money, but you only have 21 million Bitcoins. You don't even have up to 21 million Bitcoins. In real sense, we're probably going to have maybe like 4 million really to play with between now and when Bitcoin stop printing. So because of that, this is a very huge news that's been buried along other stacks of major news that have come out this week. Same thing with the city of Florida. I think it was January or December when we were talking about the city of Florida mayor saying he was considering putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They've gone ahead to implement it. You can use Bitcoin to pay for services now. You can use it to do a lot of things in the city of Tampa in Florida. Sorry, when I meant city of Florida, it was city of Tampa in Florida. Sorry for that typo. So the city of Tampa is essentially adopting Bitcoin as part of their reserves. We'll go ahead to talk about the impact of Tesla and others, in the coming slide. Institutional FOMO in terms of sentiments, of course, institutional FOMO is now taken to another level since Elon Musk has come out to declare for Bitcoin, and we can see governments and apex banks, meaning central banks, taking taking steps in that direction as well. So let's go to the first news of the day, and of course, the one that sent Bitcoin from the 30s range to the 40s range. Tesla's 1.5 billion purchase. $1.5 billion. I mean, in any country is a big amount of money, and for that to have come from Tesla, who has one of the largest and the highest performing stock in the world, is very huge. I will tell you two things that's going to happen to Tesla stock, even though I don't trade stocks. I can tell you that we saw 700% on Tesla stock last year. You probably see another 700 or 500% again this year, because what this means is that they're essentially anchoring their assets into the Bitcoin network. We saw what that did for MicroStrategy in the last 12 months. MicroStrategy is the only stock that has outperformed both Bitcoin and the Nasdaq in the last 12 months. And that was simply because they decided to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. So I think it's a huge play. It's a huge statement. Some analysts did come up with a clickbait news saying that SEC might investigate blah blah blah, but that's completely bollocks, because they're not the first company to do it, and they filed with SEC to say we've done it, and there are many other companies that are doing it now, both openly and secretly. So I don't think they're going to have any issues with the SEC in that regard, and I think it's just going to be maybe the first installment. They'll probably be buying the dip and dollar cost averaging like everybody else as the time goes on. But this is huge. This is huge. This is why Bitcoin is trending in the 40s today and might break 50K over the weekend or even tonight, depending on what the buy pressure is like. So massive, massive, massive. This news on its own is enough to sustain Bitcoin at the current price level for a very long time, because what it means is that it's not just because Tesla bought Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet. What it means is that the richest man in the world, who has one of the highest or the most valuable companies in the world, is making a move while others are looking, and his stock is already doing well. So it's not like the stock of the company is doing badly. The company is yet to make profit, by the way, in terms of pure profits. But because of the prospect of what the company is doing, a lot of people are still buying the stock. So price to earning is through the roof, and people are buying the stocks every day. So now, cap it up. The company has now decided that, one, we're going to buy this amount of Bitcoin. Two, as if that was not enough, we're going to be taking payments in Bitcoins. I can tell you for a fact that Tesla might record its first profit this year because of this move. And this is huge. Everybody's looking. Everybody has seen, as I said, everybody has seen what what's this called? MicroStrategy has done with their company's performance in the last 12 months. So thousands of people are looking. And if you remember last week as well, I told you how Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy got about 1,500 CEOs together to tell them how they, got Bitcoin into their balance sheets. This move is going to change the rules of finance. It's going to change accounting standards for the accountants on the call. You might have to be doing new exams in the coming years, talking about, Bitcoin standard or something like that. The same way you have IFRS 9 and 10 and 16. So this is changing the game significantly. As simple as it sounds. Massive news, massive news. Then, I think that was not enough. Today, Apple came out and said that Apple Pay is now going to be taking crypto payments. We all know Apple Pay. If you use iPhone, what's it called now? Apple Watch. They're saying, if I think that news came out today, and they say, we're going to partner with BitPay, which is like the biggest crypto payment merchant company. It say that Apple should consider throwing the cryptocurrency way. as opposed to trying to build an Apple car. That they already have the hardware in terms of tablets, computers, and iPhones. That they could just create an hardware wallet, and I think it's a fantastic idea. I think they will sell out. Personally, I think they will sell out if they did that. But nevertheless, this is huge as well. This is very huge. This one that they've done is very, very huge. I think it brings adoption into complete mainstream. And when you consider that they're not just the only one, so PayPal, PayPal already is in the fray. They started offering their services in the US. They're coming to the UK now to say, we're launching. By the way, PayPal's supernormal profits of last year was solely tied to their cryptocurrency services. I can't remember the numbers, but the figures are humongous in terms of the profit they made off their cryptocurrency offerings. So now they're extending the services to the UK because obviously they've been very successful in the US. And you can remember we talked about MasterCard and Visa a long time ago. But now, since Tesla has come out, they've also come out to say, guys, we're also going to be offering crypto services to our customers all over the world. I mean, these two companies combined have economies that are greater than, their market cap is greater than most countries' economies in the world. Between MasterCard and Visa, they control trillions of dollars. So this is going to drive the prices through the roof. And if you've been with me since May last year, and you've bought some of the tokens we mentioned, you should be in significant profit by now. Even if you sold and bought back, like I did, you should still be in profit right now because this is going to drive the market crazy. Before now, we were talking about $500 million market cap last year. Around this time last year, actually, we were about 200 and we went as low as 260 something just before the crash, in the COVID crash in March. And as at the time of the halving, it was just around 300 and something billion in market cap. To think that we're now 1.6, what am I saying? 1.4, almost 1.5 trillion, which is around 5x in total market cap. It's significant. And all this news is only going to drive adoption and bring more people into the crypto. Last week was when they reopened the Ethereum Trust. Last week they did one loan. They have to inquire Auto Wi-Fi is a decentralized token. It has very small supply. The community voted a short while ago to increase the supply by 20%. To take up again, is beginning to pick up in terms of the price again, and because the filing now says that they expect to start using or issuing Wi-Fi trust from I think end of the month. I think we're going to see a huge spike in the price of the Wi-Fi token as well. So keep an eye out for that. If you have your Wi-Fi, hold tight. It's about to explode. It's already very expensive. It's about I think it's close to 50,000 now per one token. So it's already an expensive token, but the price is about to move furthermore. Of course, Amazon is also in the Amazon is also in the place. So as I said earlier, each of these deals on a good day will have done, taking the market crazy, but we just have too much good fundamentals that it's difficult for the market to react to all of them at once. And I think when the market fully grasps the enormity of this news that are all jammed up this week, it will send the prices crazy. And I think in a way, even though the price of Bitcoin is not moving as far, I think it's reflecting in the price of altcoins. I think I'll find a way to show that as well. So Amazon as well is preparing themselves to come out with their crypto play. They initially were planning to have their own cryptocurrency. I think what happened to Facebook has made them to shelve, maybe not shelve it, or maybe just keep it on the down low. And but they're planning to deploy crypto payments for emerging economies where they know that they're not going to have as much resistance in terms of regulations and all that. So if you take Nigeria, for instance, the amount of people that use Amazon in Nigeria is huge. But because there's a limit to how many how much dollars they can spend and exchange with and all that and settlements, people like Amazon are not able to play. And I know that they will be seeing those figures. What's going to happen, I think, is they will open up that channel for Nigeria and they just bill you in crypto directly. So I expect that to unfold in the coming months as well. So this is good news, not just for Bitcoin, but for crypto generally. Of course, I just saw Ethereum hits 1,800 and something now in the last few minutes. It's still inching towards that 2,000 mark, as I said last week. I think we're now I think we're in good position. If the market moves probably as expected this weekend, we might hit 2,000, which will create the first CME gap on Ethereum's futures trading. It will be interesting to see how that pans out. But I personally will be looking forward to it because, of course, I'll be longing all the way to 2,000. But I'll be interested in seeing how the gap plays out on Monday morning. But yeah, Ethereum is getting up and it's gaining a lot of traction. And even when Bitcoin has been dumping in the last 2-3 days, Ethereum has not really jumped significantly. So I think Ethereum is holding strong. There was this news about Guggenheim that I fielded this news, I think, December last year, when they were saying they wanted to invest $500 million in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So they filed for it, but I think the end of the last week in January to go ahead. And that was why they were, if you remember, they were talking about the price of Bitcoin falling and people should take profit. They were trying to push the price down before they got the permission. Immediately they got the permission, they started saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to go to 600K. Just to talk of media manipulation by institution. So now they have 10% of their asset under management lodged in Bitcoin through Bitcoin, what's it called? Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. I just thought to bring that. Yeah, so another note I wanted to cover was alt season. So alt season is a period in the bullish cycle of Bitcoin where altcoins price literally just balloon out. And the reason they balloon out is because when new funds come into the crypto markets, old hands take some profits of their Bitcoin and push those profits into altcoins. And because altcoins are usually lesser valued, lesser volume tokens, their price rise astronomically. So because Bitcoin has been altering between 48 and 44K now, a lot of altcoins have been using that consolidation to gain in price. I can I'll have brought up a chart to show you what I mean, because if you see most altcoins now, quite a number of them have doubled in price. Some have done 10x, some have done, some will do 2x in 24 hours, and you'll be wondering, what's going on here. But it's normal behavior for this time. And like I told somebody who was asking me whether I should sell or not, I said the time has not come for you to sell yet. That when it's time to sell, I will tell you. And if you don't sell at that time, just know that you're going to be holding the bag for a long time. But generally speaking, we're in alt season. I think we're in alt season for another 8 to 12 weeks before we start going back to full throttle on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But in between this alt season, we'll have periods where the price of Bitcoin will break out. Like I expect the price of Bitcoin to break out in the coming days to above 50,000. As I said earlier on, because the market has had too much good news this week, the market has not been able to react to all the good news that we've had this week, apart from the Tesla one. So the Tesla one has pushed the price to 40s. By the time somebody else comes on Monday and says something else about Bitcoin, you can expect that the price is going to just balloon out. So that's I just thought to mention that in terms of what's happening for what's happening for altcoins. 1 second, please. So if you have altcoins and if you bought any of the altcoins that I've mentioned in the group, hold tight onto them. I just gave you another one today. That one can make you rich. That one can make you rich instantly. Well, not instantly, but I mean the numbers are mind blowing. I just don't want to. I don't want to start telling people targets because I don't want anybody to hold me to it. But really, if you bought lit as I explained today, $100 investments can make you anywhere between 1,000 and conservatively 1,000 and 2,000. I'm not going to say that. The people that know the target numbers know, but I'm not going to say the target number on record because I don't want anybody to quote me. But if I give you a token to buy, please go ahead and buy them, especially in the next 3 weeks. From now to the next 3 weeks, if I say buy this token or hold this token, it's important that you pay attention because you will see the price do, I mean, literally miraculous stuff in the coming weeks. And it's not, I mean, it's not, it's just what it is. It's just the way the market behaves around the season. I think last year we didn't have this kind of understanding because we thought Bitcoin was just going to take the lead, and after the halving was just going. But what was happening then was, in retrospect, altcoin season was going on immediately after halving, and we didn't take cognizance of it because Bitcoin was also appreciating in price. But what was happening at that time was that altcoin season was going on in the background as well. But now it's easier to see because I mean we we have additional intelligence, and we also have seen how the price of Bitcoin has been behaving. So we have a good idea of how long we expect this altcoin season to last. So if you're holding your altcoins, hold well. I mean, good example is Cardano. Like I said on the chat, Cardano has made me over 100%. Even though, I mean, maybe it was $500 or so pounds that I had in it, but it's done over 100% clean. In fact, more than actually, and it's not even gotten to $1 yet. I have coins that I've bought this year that have done 100% as well. I mean, good example, Swissborg. I told you in January. There was one as well, Polka Starter. In fact, I don't think I mentioned Polka Starter because it's not yet on the exchanges. So I didn't want anybody disturbing me about, how do you get it? And I wasn't sure about, what the outlook would be. But Polka Starter, I just checked yesterday, it's not 100% as well. So you can expect a lot of 2x's to 10x's in the next few weeks. Just don't sell yet. When it's time to sell, I'll tell you to sell. And you can cash out and do whatever you want to do with your fund. But it's not the time to sell your altcoins yet because we're just getting started in terms of the ride for altcoins in this season. So let's go to Abaita Signs. In terms of the market cap, we're right now 400 billion in the last 1 week. So the cryptocurrency market cap has added 400 billion in the last 1 week. That's crazy. That's 40% of the market capitalization in the last 1 week. Pause for a moment and think about that. 40%. So what it means is that it's that 40% is not reflected yet in the price of Bitcoin. It's not reflected yet because Bitcoin dominance has only moved by 0.2 actually, 0.2% since last week. So that 40% increase is not reflected yet. By the time it starts to reflect, it will be mad. It will be extremely crazy, I can tell you. Because if a market gains 40% in market cap in just 1 week, and it's just the beginning, I don't even want to imagine what will happen in the coming weeks. But fasten your seatbelt, it's going to be a very interesting ride. Definitely. Altcoins have done a fraction of pumping anyhow because as the money is coming, it's going through Bitcoin and just going straight to the altcoins. That's why it's pumping anyhow. In terms of our fear and greed index, yeah, expectedly we have more greed now because Tesla has come in to say we've bought, and so everybody is now getting the. So where was MasterCard? Where was Visa? Where was Apple Pay before this week? Nobody wants to become the first, but nobody wants to become the last as well. So now that Tesla is saying we'll be collecting payments in cryptocurrencies, of course, the guys have lined up and say, even we will be, we are ready to play ball. There was a news I didn't pick up actually. I just remembered now. There was a bank in North Carolina in the United States that started offering Bitcoin purchases on their ATM, what's it called? ATM machines. So you could go to the ATM and actually buy Bitcoin. It was quite interesting. I was like, really? In 2021? So don't be surprised if very soon you're able to buy Bitcoin or crypto on your ATM, because whether you like it or not, banks still wants to make money. Even though they're getting decommissioned and they're becoming obsolete, but they still want to make money of this revolution. And as I told somebody, I said the noise is actually not just Bitcoin. The underpinning revolution here is the blockchain technology. And this technology is going to change the world the same way the internet changed the world, the same way printing press changed the world forever. Somebody gave me that analogy today, and I didn't think about it that way. But printing press was a technology in its time because it was because of printing press that people started having some sort of democratization of knowledge. Before that time, only the very rich, the king, and the monks had access to books. And I mean, for you to produce any book, you have to copy it out 100%, write it out to create a copy of any book. So it was quite a huge step forward for mankind to have come upon the printing press. And it changed everything forever. You know, ordinary men became authors, composers, musicians, philosophers, scientists, just on the back of people being able to print books. The same way electricity changed mankind, the same way cars, the same way the internet has changed, before the internet, computers has changed, everything we do forever. Blockchain is going to change everything we do forever. You can coach me anywhere. It is already changing it, but in the next 5 to 10 years, what I'm saying will be very obvious. And positioning in this industry, I think it's a huge advantage at this point. It's like I told someone, it's a huge wealth transfer happening before our very eyes in the middle of a global crisis. A huge wealth transfer is going on. Anyways, that was a digression, but our fair and greed index did show that we're oversold, but that's okay, or overbought. It's expected we're probably not going to see another correction until maybe we get to. I don't think we'll see at 53K. I think we'll probably see at 62 or 65K Bitcoin. Then we might see another 20 or 30% drop in price before we continue. You can see all the sentiments remains the same technically since last week. But last week, at the end of last week, everybody was like, "Oh, we're not sure. Maybe we'll hold 37. Maybe we'll go back to 40." People are not sure until Tesla came up and everything just blew through the roof. So now we're strongly in a buy position, and that's going to remain. Now we're in trail. We're in trail right now. Definitely, we've passed belief because now everybody knows that okay, something is going on. The media talking heads are beginning to talk about it. Last week when Nigeria made that, CBN made that stupendous blunder, it was all over the news, and everybody was like, okay, what were they thinking? All sorts of commentaries from global players and media talking heads. Well, so it's understandable that everybody is now aware that this thing is, it's for real. Like, it's not a joke. In 2013, was like, okay, what kind of meme token or internet token is this? But now everybody's like, okay, this is really, this is for real. Companies are taking position, corporate organizations, publicly quoted companies for that matter, are taking position. So regardless of whatever fraud or fear, uncertainty, and disappointment or discouragement might be put around in any news media, bear in mind that a huge amount of companies are buying Bitcoin right now, like crazy buying. Companies that you've never heard their name before, that they are not on any stock exchange, they're privately owned companies, privately owned estates. They're contacting, digital brokerage companies saying, we want to get involved. How do we move our inheritance into Bitcoin? And it's huge. It's huge. Like I said, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when you have such a transformational shift in technology, it collapses energy from one form to another. I'm sorry for non-science people on the call, but if you ever studied physics, you know that they say that energy can never be destroyed because it's always present. So that if you try to destroy energy in one form or collapse it, it will transform into another form of energy. And what happens is when you take a process or you take an ecosystem and you try to collapse all the processes, all the energy within that ecosystem, it transforms into another form of energy. Good example, Amazon. Amazon took all the energies in retail and in libraries and compacted it onto a single platform, and it became the biggest retail company in the world and made the guy, the richest man at some point. The same way with Apple. Apple has taken everything we used to use, our parents used to use files and drawers for, and has put it on our phone. So the same way, when you have a technology like this that's taking money with all the rigors involved in printing, keeping, storing, securing, and transporting money, and it has jammed it all on one single platform on the blockchain, that is bound to be returns, because what you've done is you've collapsed that energy into one single output, and that output is value. And that's why the price of things like Bitcoin will always go up, because think about it, you can move $15 billion in 5 minutes from Nicaragua to Australia. You can't do that in gold. You can't do that in dollars. To move that in dollars, you probably need a private jet or two to load the stash. And you need security, you need clearance on both ends or with their customs. You need all sorts of protocols to put that in place. You don't need that anymore. That's infinite power to transmit huge value across geographies. It's never happened before. So it's huge. It's a lot bigger than, it's a lot bigger than us buying Bitcoin and selling altcoins. It's huge. This is transformational. It's a life-changing opportunity. So we're here right now. We're going to get to euphoria. I think in summer we'll get to euphoria and clash back to complacency. But until then, we can enjoy the ride. And if you've not taken your position, it's still a good time. You can still make 2x at least. Yes, I said I was going to talk about alt season. I've made some discussion about alt season. The only thing I left out was technical analysis, and I just wanted to show this to explain where we were in terms of the price of Bitcoin. So this is the daily chart. If you look at 50,000, you see that 50,000 is just here from where we are right now. And considering the fact that the price actually peaked at 48,950 already today. So 50,000 is just here. So 50,000 is less than a stone throw on the charts to where we are in terms of price. And when you consider where we're coming from, so just in December last year, beginning of December, we were here at 18,000. Before then, in October, when we started picking up, actually, I think we started picking up around here, middle of October, we're at 11,000. And I remember mentioning then, if you followed then, I remember saying on the WhatsApp chat when the price crashed in September, and I said that the price has refused to stay below, if you remember my statement then, that the price has refused to stay below 10,000. I think this is a very strong signal that we are not going to see less than 10,000 again. That if you want to buy Bitcoin, buy now, and that this is a financial advice. I remember that very, very well. And at that time, what I felt was that, okay, we're going to close the year around 20K and hold it around 20K. But of course, it went on. I think we closed the year at 20. What was that? We closed the year at 20. Yeah. We closed the year at 29. Yeah. So we closed the year at 29,000 from that 10,000 position. We almost did 3x on that. And since then, we've gone from 29 to 40 and back. and back to, I think we went as low as 29 again, and then we're here now at 48. I expect that we'll definitely see 50 in the next few days, if not today or this weekend. Definitely. The near term target, as I said, is 53,000. I've not plotted this chart. I will have shown you the Fibonacci of this. Let me try to see if I can do that briefly. Okay, no, I can do that directly here actually. To show you the lines or the levels that we expect the market to be at. So if I take this to weekly, yeah, so 72,000 is in order based on the current high we are posting. I was even 63. So 17,750. So we might have like one or two in between then, but because as we're moving on and on into the bull cycle, we're also running low on supply. And bear in mind that the demand we have now is not part of the normal demand. It's not part of the planned demand for the bull cycle. Usually what happens is, you have retail getting interested as the price of Bitcoin is appreciating, then everybody starts to buy some Bitcoin. They say, the price is growing fast, and they buy some Bitcoins. Then when the whales are tired of making profits, they sell off their Bitcoin. Then everybody starts selling off. Then the institutions to pull off and start shorting, and everybody says, "Oh, we're in the bear market," and then the weak hands now hold on till the price gets too low and eventually sell out at a loss. But now we're having institutions coming in the fray and buying up the available Bitcoin. So Grayscale alone is buying more Bitcoins than has ever been produced per day. It's huge. It's huge. Honestly, it's mind blowing. I try not to think about it too much because you can go crazy thinking about what the opportunities are or what the potentials are in this market. But frankly, if you're holding any crypto portfolio, hold it very tight because it might change your life forever. You can quote me. It might change your life forever this year because of what is coming. Some people have an idea of what is coming, but they don't know. They don't know what. How do I say it? They don't know what the magnitude is. So I said I was going to do a quick demo of the P2P for people in Nigeria. If you want to sidestep the CBN problem, well, I think Binance has actually been proactive. I think they've created another alternative, but because I promised this one, I'm just going to under Binance. You can see you go to wallets, then you go to P2P. Usually, if you want to sell, okay, let me do buy. If you want to buy, then you go to P2P market. You say trade P2P. When you say trade P2P from trade, it takes you to that part of the platform where you can choose what you want to buy, what you want to sell. So if I say that I want to buy, if I say that my fiat is Naira, my fiat is defaulting to pounds because I'm in the UK. If I say that I want to buy Naira, so yeah, now it's changed to Naira. And then I say that I want to get USDT for my Naira. Let's say I put in 60,000. What 60,000 does is that it shows you the available people who want to sell in that range. So all these people on this list are Binance users who have Naira or who have USDT that they want to sell for Naira. So maybe they've made profit for the week or they have profit sitting in USDT that they want to cash out in Naira. So you can see their prices, which is very close to the black market prices that we have. And then you have the payment method. Most of them have blah, blah, blah. Usually what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for verified ones. So you can see those ones that have stars in front of them They are super verified merchants, quote and unquote, on the P2P. So if I say buy USDT, I want to buy USDT. So it says he has 1,000 available, which means he's only selling between 200K and 473. If you're buying lower than that, you're probably not going to be able to buy from him. But if you're like somebody like this who's not registered, he has a lower volume. So because I want to use 60K as an example, I'll just say buy USDT from this guy. And I'm not going to complete the transaction too, because number one, I don't want to expose the person's banking details on the internet. So, but you can see the person has already said transfer from GTB is not going through. Please use another bank. You can call blah 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 blah. Yeah, I understand this GTB is having all sorts of problems today as well. So, and I had the funds I wanted to use was in GTB, so I'm not going to be able to proceed with that transaction. But as I said, so if I said I had 200,000, for instance, as well, you can see that this one is it has 98% completion. It's super verified, and it pays by either bank transfer or Binance Fiat. And yeah, so he's giving his own terms and conditions that if you are sending from a company account, you need to show blah 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 blah. But different people have different terms. But usually I'm on the lookout for people that have verification marks in front of them like this, because it also means that they have been tried and tested. So it's how do I put it? It's not a completely trustless platform in that you're still going through Binance, but because Binance is the arbitrator, or what do they call it now, in between intermediary, and then Binance is able to orchestrate this process in such a way that once you say buy, it gives you the banking details of this particular merchant. Then once you pay to that banking details and click that you've paid, then the person will respond by transferring the money, because the person will get the money. And you can see all of them are saying don't send from GTB, don't third party payment, don't mention USDT or P2P in the description. Some of them say don't mention crypto, don't mention anything. I mean, it goes without saying, you can't afford to mention anything. If I want, some of them will say, if you mention any of these things, I'm going to refund the money immediately, because they're also being careful. They don't want their account to be slammed. So that's really how it works. Once you say buy USDT, you put in your amount of naira. They'll give you the account details you pay to. You just make it. You don't even need to put any description there in the chat, because what happens is once you pay them and you come back to the platform, it's like a workflow, and click that you've made the payment. It automatically sends the notification to the merchant saying so person has made so amount of payment. Go ahead and credit the person. If the person doesn't credit you, of course, finance will flag it and will knock them out. So most of them, in fact, the last time I did it, what happened was I was doing it and I was doing something else, and then I forgot completely that I was on that process. I was trying to transfer it, then GTB was hanging and hanging and hanging. Then I left it thinking that maybe the transaction didn't go, but apparently the transaction had gone through. So I now saw a chat come up on the screen saying, please signify that you made the transfer. So I was wondering that, okay, I've not sent the money. Why am I seeing this chat? All of a sudden, the guy calls me and say, please, bros, can you please notify that you made the transfer on Binance so that I can complete the exchange. So it's a very slick process, in my opinion. So if you need to buy it, it's just one of those ways that you can easily buy your USDT and buy your crypto. So that was the demo in short. I couldn't complete it because obviously GTB is having issues right now, and I don't want to show that guy's details on the screen. So I'll take your questions. I have 5 minutes or 6 minutes, as the case may be. So if you have questions on Instagram, just type in the question. I'll read it out. Otherwise, hi. You can just unmute your mic. Hi, Binga. How are you?
Hi. Fine, thank you. Firstly, thanks for the help over the week, and thanks for everything you've been doing. So the question is regarding this P2P. This is just to buy USDT. So is that once one purchases USDT, you can just convert it to any coin? Is that what it is?
Well, it depends. So let me go back
Because if you want a particular coin,
I can
for
say
example,
buy Bitcoin.
but what if I want a totally different coin? There's not Bitcoin.
What, like what?
Let's say I want, give us one KNC, for example.
So KNC is is a niche specific token. It's not considered like a major. Just like if we're in forex, like for instance, you won't consider JPY or CHY as a major. You only have USD, GBP, JPY, and Euro as the majors. So in the cryptocurrency world, you have USDT, Bitcoin, in this case BUSD, because Binance is the platform. Then you have their own BNB, then you have Ethereum, then you have DAI. DAI is a stable coin, USDT is a stable coin, NGN is digital Nigerian Naira. So for you to make cryptocurrency purchases outside the majors, you can buy Bitcoin, USDT, Ethereum, or BNB. For BNB, if you're doing the transaction on Binance, they're usually trading against most of the pairs. So if you wanted to buy KNC, you could buy USDT, you could buy BTC, you could buy BNB, or you could buy Ethereum.
Then I have to swap it.
So yeah, so you now swap it. So most people will just buy USDT then,
because they're not
USDT
standard coins. The other coins I want.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So if you're buying the major coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, you just buy directly. Otherwise, if you're buying any of the other altcoins, you have to buy one of the major ones first.
And what does it say? Payments, all payments. What does that mean? Because it doesn't have GTP there, for example.
Payment methods. So there are various payment methods depending on which country and which fiat currency you're choosing.
That makes sense.
If I said, let's change itself, for instance. Let's flip it. Let's say we're in a UK scenario and I wanted to sell pounds, or I wanted to sell Bitcoin for pounds. And I say all payments. What will then happen is, what would then happen is it will show me all the people that want to sell. So you can see everybody within the UK space that want to sell Bitcoin for pounds.
Oh, so this is the price they want to sell their Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can see their payment method. So if I say I only want a particular bank, I'm able to filter. If I say I want only PayPal, I'm able to filter. You can see some people have Alipay, some people have Apple Pay, some people have. So if I say PayPal,
and this price quoted is the price they value their Bitcoin as.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay.
So once you pick those particular ones, it just filters out the payment method.
Just because in the Nigerian one, it didn't give us the Nigerian banks. I was expecting it
Nigerian banks, okay. Very funny. Well, you know, Nigerian banks have been bad, so they can't feature.
That's true.
But yeah, it's so that's usually the payment method for most people, and I think it's actually it works pretty much like another platform called Local Bitcoins. This is almost the same way Local Bitcoins work. In which case, you need to validate the accounts. You know, the platform holds the details of each party that is transacting, and of course, you can flag if anybody is misbehaving. You can flag them. And I mean, most people who are merchants will not usually want their transactions to complete. Like you can see these guys now, 85%, I mean 90%, 85% completion. They're usually the ones that will be pushing for you to complete the transaction because you're going to affect their stats at the end of the day, and they want to make sure that they have good stats to attract more customers.
Okay.
So it's a shame that we didn't have enough white sensible people in Nigeria to advise them, or maybe they advise them, they refuse to take advice. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's the playbook for buying crypto from Nigeria. It's as simple as that. Just register on Binance and you're good. I understand that even the withdrawal they have a direct withdrawal arrangement now. I saw that notification somewhere.
And the amounts they have available is what's being displayed on the right when it says available.
Yeah, the various amount they can sell. So once somebody has 1 Bitcoin available, another one's at 0.5, another one has 0.8.
But what I don't understand is it says, for example, let's just stick with the first one you've got, or the second one, which says available is 0.55. So what's the total value of that 0.5?
I'll show you now. So there's a website called.
Or do we have to? I mean, we could physically or manually do the calculation there as well, can't we?
I wanted to give you. There's a website called priv.com. Very simple website. This all it shows. Priv.com. So you can just copy your Bitcoin price and put it in there. So it shows you the value.
So I know how much I'll give him in naira or in dollars.
So that's £20,000.
Okay.
So that site, priv.com, will always help you to calculate the Bitcoin, any Bitcoin value. So you can just copy the fraction, even if it's 0.00545345 or anything. Once you paste it there, it just automatically calculates for you without any stress.
That makes sense.
Mr. Wally the Wheels, I see you have muted your mic.
But the other question
of the day.
The other question I have
Go ahead,
so for the because I'm literally just looking at the Nigerian one. So if you put that on Priv, so how would you guys
Nigeria is not right now.
On no NGN. So how would you guys agree? Would you have to agree later on the exchange rates?
No, the guy has already given you the exchange rates. Let me go back to NGN. The guy has already stated his own exchange rate now.
For dollar.
So if you're agreeable to the exchange rate, you swipe right.
So where's the exchange rate?
That exchange rate is the exchange rate to the dollar.
So where's the exchange rate? So NGN, for example, Bitcoin. So this guy at the number 2.
Just hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to change this stuff. It's misleading. So I want to say buy NGN. So if I say buy NGN or buy USDT NGN, the guy has already given me, this is his rate, 467. There's another guy that has 466.
Oh, you have to put the amounts you want to buy as well at the top. Oh,
and then the guy, when you put it there, it helps the system to filter out who are the people in that
range.
If I put 600,000,
you cannot negotiate the price that the person wants to sell it. So.
No, I wasn't even trying to negotiate the price.
There are other people that sell higher.
I want to know what his exchange rate is. So when
that's the exchange rate.
So I did that. How did you get that exchange rate? Did it just come automatically? Price.
It automatically is there. So all the people that are interested in selling, the exchange rate is on display.
In my case, I did price. It's just showing the full. For example, I did 2 million, as if I want to buy 2 million naira worth. And I put the price. It's just giving me the full price of the coin instead, which is 22 million naira. It's not giving me the full. The conversion. I'm not getting the conversion as in your case.
You're not getting the conversion. No. What do you have in fiat?
Fiat NGN, and I've got 22,449,000. So
what do you have here selected?
Oh, I did Bitcoin before. So okay, USDT now. Yeah.
So USDT is the dollar conversion rate.
But
so
if it's Bitcoin I want to buy.
Rate is but the Bitcoin conversion rate is based on the USDT. USDT conversion rate.
So that makes sense.
What is done in Nigeria is it's reverse engineered, that they first take the value to dollar, then bring it to dollar Bitcoin. And that gives you the BTC price.
And will Binance, they collect charges for the P2P?
Well, I don't know. I think it's free. They didn't collect charges from me though, because I just credited the guy's account and he credited my USDT.
Okay. And
I don't know. Well, as a buyer, I didn't pay any charges.
Okay. And I can send what if I want him to send it to a different platform, say crypto.com instead of Binance?
No, you can only send it to your Binance.
To Binance.
Because that's the only verifiable platform for the exchange.
Platform. The other question
when you have it in your Binance, then you can transfer it to your CRO.
Yeah. The other question I have, sir, sorry, I'm hijacking the whole platform. I used Binance and I bought some coins, but I'm struggling to understand if I've gone up, if I'm down. I find it very, very unfriendly, this Binance platform.
Well, yeah. So the reason you're having that problem is because you're a stock guru. So you are used to all the fancy analytics that the stock trading platforms provide you. Unfortunately, this is an evolving ecosystem. You don't have all those fancy analytics, but you do have tools that can help you.
Okay.
For security reasons, I can't show my portfolio on the screen. Well,
because crypto shows us.
Show us.
I will just drive down to your house straight.
Crypto.com shows us.
Show us your portfolio, please.
Don't show your portfolio. You're on YouTube.
Don't worry, you are not in Nigeria. You are safe.
With our Aleko.
Village people.
They'll find your address in London. And your wallet.
Don't show portfolio.
Dr. Demi, one can still use CoinMarketCap also as something similar to what we have.
Yes, so you can use CoinMarketCap or you can use CoinGecko.
That's what I'm using.
I was going to go to CoinGecko. CoinGecko is very good because it helps you to document all the what's it called that you have, all the crypto that you have. So you can document how much you bought it, what the price was when you bought it, if there are any additional charges when you bought it. And then from the time you document it, so it's like your trade journal, if you will, or portfolio journal.
Okay.
From the time you document it, the system automatically calculates. Sorry?
Actually, you can determine what you bought on Binance and when you bought it, how much you bought it. It's in the order book.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if you want to see an aggregated view, so if you come to CoinGecko, because I already have an existing portfolio. If I click portfolio now, it's just going to show you my portfolio. I'm going to show you the profit path.
Sure.
You just said,
yeah, Dr. Demi, show. Just click it.
What do you want to do with that?
They have activated their camera. They just want to take photos. Bam.
Yeah.
They will just take screenshots. Don't show it, Jerry. Thank you.
Dr. Demi.
So what I want to say was
do you know what happened? I put all my information on the CoinGecko. My son came round and saw that. I said, Dad, what is that? I said, no, go away. So I closed it completely. In fact, I'm not using it anymore. It's dangerous and dangerful.
The whale of whales.
So yeah.
No.
Yes, that account is heavy. But
no, not
bring
that.
back to my question and back to the answer. So open an account with CoinGecko.
Yeah.
It just requires your email address, and then as you buy each crypto, just document it with CoinGecko. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to open a dummy one next week, and I will try to explain it, but I can't show you my.
No,
I can't show you my.
CoinMarketCap, maybe.
You can use CoinMarketCap as well. Yeah. So really, it's I'm sure of that. Yeah. So once you document it, it just as the price moves on the market, it automatically calculates the increase. So I can tell you, for instance, that my Ethereum now is done Consider, in fact, I just bought most of them recent time. It's done 31%. Cardano has done 229%. So you are able to see that at each of the level. Then it's able to tell you your overall portfolio performance in the last 24 hours, if your portfolio is in profit or in a loss, and then the total balance of portfolio, either in fiat currency or in Bitcoin value. It's able to tell you that as well.
This Cardano did 108%.
Dr. Denny.
Yeah.
The Love Coin token that you posted earlier today, the coin, the Love Coin token that you posted earlier, is it you that posted it?
Yes. Which one? The Love entry.
Coin token.
No, I wasn't the one. I posted LIT.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Dr. Demi, LIT, when I checked it, I think I need to be sure it's $8 thereabout.
Yes, elite entry. Yes.
8.27.
8.27. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I have another question. What's the essence of multiple coins? What purpose do they serve? Or is it just like multiple stocks?
That's another class.
So one should just be buying.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. I think my internet was messed up there.
Yeah.
I said, what's the point?
Sorry, Benja, please, can you take the question again?
I said, what's the point of multiple coins? What purpose does it serve? If Bitcoin can be used as an exchange, for example, a coin, which is more like money. So why do we have over 1,600 coins?
There are more than 1,600 coins. Right now, there are about 8,000.
Those that created them.
Okay. Putting eggs in one basket, in more baskets. Okay.
Yeah, it's like saying, why do we have Cadbury if another company is existing? So everybody just wants to be in the market.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so if we're going to be using coins, for example, I'm going to use this coin, you're going to use that coin, because I would have thought coins are money, exchanges. So does that mean some companies will say, oh, I don't take Bitcoin, I accept altcoin, this kind of altcoin?
So, okay, let me explain.
You need crypto 101.
let me explain what's it needs crypto 101. Maybe I need to send you that crypto 101 lesson. But basically, Bitcoin is the reserve currency of the crypto world. Is the gateway, quote-unquote, gateway drug, and it is through Bitcoin that most people gain access into the crypto world. However, because on the back of the Bitcoin technology, which is blockchain, many other companies and entities have created other tokens, which we generally refer to as altcoins. Now, some of those tokens are just like Dogecoin. Dogecoin is just a fun token. It doesn't serve any purpose other than just fun. It's just a social media fun token.
But that fun can turn to money, right?
Yeah, of course, it's speculative. Ethereum, on the other hand, is a complete ecosystem. Same thing with Polkadot, same thing with Cardano, same thing with Binance. Complete ecosystem coin that have real life function. Chainlink, for instance, is like an API or integration token that helps blockchain to connect to real world data. So each of those tokens, like out of the 6,000 listed on this CoinGecko, for instance, at least 2,000 of them or 3,000 have real world usage that are being used for things in the real world. Others are just purely speculative. So what happens in the bear market is that most of the time people sell off all their alts into Bitcoin and probably Ethereum, then wait until everything has come back and then start using the Bitcoin to buy back some of those alts. So really and truly, if you're going to portfolio allocation wise, some people will say buy 80% Bitcoin, 20% altcoin as an entry level. If you're more sophisticated, depending on where you are in the bull cycle, so at some point you might be holding 90% Bitcoin. At some other point, you can drop your Bitcoin holding to 10% so that you can buy altcoins and use the gains in altcoins to gather more Bitcoins. But that's more sophisticated. But generally speaking, people will say, at least half of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin because that's the real agreeable standard. Everybody in the world now agrees that this is the monetary network of the future. All the other guys are still going to, they probably outperform Bitcoin. So Ethereum between last year and now, when the market crashed, has outperformed Bitcoin. But when Ethereum crashes, when the market crashes, it will crash more than Bitcoin because, generally speaking, it's considered as an altcoin as well. So the reason why people buy other coins is not just because we want to use it to trade. Is, I mean, for speculative reasons as well, and for portfolio holding. So many of the stock that you're holding today in the future will become tokens because there will be no stockbroker. There will be no need for any stockbroker because you can just from your phone and from your wallets just go to a decentralized exchange and just buy the token. And I can launch my company and say, I'm selling Demicoin, and this is what we're going to use Demicoin for. And if you find my use case interesting, you buy the coin, and as the company grows, you profit off just like buying stocks.
That makes sense.
So that's the rationale behind that. So I have two questions here. Should we keep our
Demicoin to build hospital,
or should we move them to Binance? Okay, so I have a question of somebody says, should we keep your coin in crypto.com, move them to Binance? Depending on which coin. So I still have some coins in crypto.com, but I moved to Binance significantly because Binance has a wicked volume right now. And for the altcoins that I'm playing in, you need volume to be able to cash out as fast as you want. And crypto.com does not have all the altcoins. So in terms of platforms I'm using the most right now, I mean, I have probably I probably have 20 exchanges that I'm registered on or more. But in terms of the major ones, I use crypto.com, I use Swissborg, and I use Binance. Of course, crypto.com because it allows me to spend and collect CRO as cashback. Swissborg because it allows me to do direct to accounts, and Binance because it allows me the liquidity to trade. Of course, I have other accounts for margin trading and all that, but those are the main ones. So you can hold both of them. And I think as we discussed, I told you that you can open Swissborg if you want to send money directly to your accounts. So, Sotas, I think I've answered the question. I have a question. Can cryptocurrency be invested in an ISA or JISA?
ISA or junior ISA? I doubt it. No, you can't.
I don't think so for now.
Can't for now. Stocks can.
Just convert it to pounds and crypto there.
So what I can say, Dio, is that try to open separate wallets for your children or one wallet for your children and just put crypto there. You can buy a ledger or you can just buy a phone, and that the only purpose of that phone is to install a decentralized wallet where you can send crypto to as savings for your children. I have major plans. One of my friends has already done that already. He said he bought Bitcoin for our daughter, and the daughter is already seeing that the price is appreciating. But I think you should buy, Bitcoin definitely, Ethereum, some major ones, but Bitcoin definitely, because you don't eat gold for breakfast at the rate at which it's going. By the time these children become adolescents or adults, nobody will be talking about gold again because it'll be totally irrelevant. So it's a good thing, even though it's not on ISA or JISA, but you should still have holdings in them. Bitcoin is not sorted yet in terms of what they want to do in terms of positioning for Bitcoin. But I think they will quickly realize once they see the body language of all the other countries, they're the ones on the back foot. They'll quickly make adjustments. The other question was, okay, recommended coins or tokens.
I'm sorry to even add that, what's the essence of having ISA when you have all these platforms? ISA will just sit down in the accounts.
In fact, what I need to say on that note, and the reason I was saying that don't put the stuff in ISA is because if you understand how monetary system works, you understand that the current monetary system has failed across the world. The only reason why it's not apparent yet is because not everybody knows how the monetary system works. So people are not aware that the money we are holding is depreciating. US dollar depreciated over 16% last year alone. So if you had 100 million in the bank, the purchasing power of your 100 million at the beginning of this year is less than, think about it, is less than 70 million. If you had $100 million in the bank last year, January, that's how bad the depreciation has gone. And it's going to get worse because for countries to recover from this coronavirus pandemic, they need to do money printing, the fancy word for quantitative easing, as they say. They need to print more money so that they can prop up the economy and give people a sense of well-being, so that there won't be chaos and widespread civil unrest. So it's not safe. I mean, you actually do yourself a disservice keeping your money in fiat, because it's depreciating every day, and there's nothing the central banks can do about it. So it goes without saying. But I don't want to talk about Naira, because that one is on another level.
Yeah.
Our almighty Naira.
Yeah, if you have opportunity of just, I mean, being able to, I just close all my accounts. Even I have asked my employer to pay my money to CRO card straight away.
You know that people have started, so as I told you about Florida, that Tampa City in Florida, they're starting to allow people to collect their salaries in Bitcoin as well. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. It's inevitable. It's inevitable because monetary system is failing, and it's failing at a rapid rate. Unfortunately, I don't want to go into the into the ownership and the setup of the monetary system, but just know that it's failing because the rate of inflation is just too much. And now you have this pandemic that has crashed everything, and they have to print money for economies to recover. They have to print money big time, and the more you print money, the more you dilute the value. It's just like shares. The more you do additional issuance, the more the share capital value is diluted. So it's the same thing. So it's a risky bet. Even if we go back to a bear market, and I'm going to say this for the record. So Bitcoin today is 47,000. It will go up between 200 and 400,000 before this year ends. Even if we enter a bear market and it crashes, my projection is that it's not going to crash lower than 100,000 anymore. So even if you hold it from now till during the bear market, it probably be sitting above 100,000 till the next bull market, by which time it might be in millions to get one Bitcoin. So at that point in time, your JISA or ISA will have yielded maybe 5% or 20% or even 25% in compound interest after 4 years. I don't think it even can perform that much, to be honest. And it's performing that on the back of a depreciating currency. The only reason why.
But a JISA account is not for stock shares and other
assets.
It depends on what you put inside. It's not based on the currency. If you choose a cash JISA, that may be a bad idea. Okay. So there is the cash ISA, and then there's the stock shares and the instruments one. So the JISA keeps it for years, or ISA depending on what you're using. Yeah. So if you, I'll just find out, if the portfolio can be increased to include
smart way to do it.
Crypto.
The smart way to do it is, I know they won't include crypto, and I understand the principle of trying to put it in ISA or JISA so that you don't have to pay capital gains. But the capital gains you are trying to avoid by putting it in ISA or JISA is small compared to the real gains that you're going to get if it's in crypto. So let's break it down. On
yeah, I get that.
Asset to asset performance, Bitcoin is doing on the average, considering even the lows, is doing 10% increase on the average every year against other currencies that are depreciating anywhere between 5 to 15% annually. So over a 10-year period, your pounds or your dollars, let's use dollars, your dollars has depreciated completely. If you take last year as a reference value, which depreciated 15%, and say, okay, next year maybe, or this year maybe we'll depreciate another 10%. That means in the next 10 years, your dollar value has completely depreciated in its purchasing power. And let's say you even made capital gains compounded of 100% or 200%. What you have then is just less than half of what you had 10 years ago. However, if you had that same value, let's say $1,000 at the beginning of last year, your $1,000 at the beginning of last year when Bitcoin was the 7,000, that $1,000 would be worth 4,000 now, or 4,007 now in Bitcoin value. Now, if it goes another 10 years, when Bitcoin is $1 million, then it means that it could be worth 400,000 or more. So in the cash value at that time. So even if you were going to pay capital gains on that, I mean, the capital gains is minus, and of course there are other ways if you don't want to pay capital gains, but it's out of the scope of this discussion. There are other ways to stay out of capital gains legitimately with crypto assets, and you won't have to pay. I mean, you won't have to pay anything. So, but that's why I said on the long term, I mean, my retirement plan is to have my stuff in crypto, because really and truly, what are they going to put the money in if I'm paying pension or whatever? What are they going to put the money in? Stock market, bond, or fixed interest? Those are dying dinosaurs. It's just a matter of time before people realize that those instruments
are they still dying? I thought they were dead already.
But they're still being presented as
Be careful! I'm feeding myself with stock market too. Don't spoil market too.
I'm not stock market. I'm still coming back to me.
No, the person that said they are dead already. I'm just joking. But you're right.
That's why I said that.
No, I meant compared to cryptocurrency. Financing the pensions is just, I don't know.
In fact, to break it to you, many of the what's the name of these guys? There's a Norwegian, the Norwegian trust, what's it called? Sovereign wealth. The Norwegian sovereign wealth, which of course includes the Norwegian sovereign wealth itself and some of the pensions of the company, they have maybe 10% stake in MicroStrategy. And I found out later was that they did that to invest in cryptocurrency through the back door. So that they won't generate any eyebrow, they won't cause any eyebrow being raised. But they did that to get a backdoor exposure to Bitcoin. What will happen, I can tell you, is that many of the pension fund and insurance, before the end of this year, most of them will have migrated their assets to Bitcoin, or by the end of next year. So really and truly, it's just a matter of time, because when you sit down and do the maths, you understand that it doesn't add up. You can't. There is no instrument on the markets that can match Bitcoin. None, not even gold, in terms of performance, either in the last 10 years or the next 10 years. And because of the extreme, I mean, it's too easy. The example I gave you, you could sit here and you could move $1 billion across the globe without blinking an eyelid. I mean, with paying less than $50 in transaction fee. I mean, that's insane. You can't even move, I mean, you can't move $1 million as freely as that, in cash. So it's inevitable, like Elon Musk said, it's inevitable that everybody's going to have to pile in at some point. So if you're thinking of JISA and ISA, buy Bitcoin, create a separate way. You can buy the Ledger or Ledger Nano, one of these the external wallets, and keep it there, or you can have a dedicated phone that has a decentralized wallet. So the way they work is that the decentralized wallets serve as the wallet on the phone, but it gives you a passphrase. So with that passphrase, you can access that wallet on another phone. So if that phone gets lost, you can always access that wallet and get your money, or get your crypto rather. And so all you have to really do is keep the passphrase in a safe place. I mean, you can actually go to a bank and say you want a safety deposit box and put your passphrase there. They will keep it for you. They will charge you, but they'll keep it for you. Well, if you're thinking about it, I think for now, just keep it in crypto. When the time comes and you think you want to liquidate, you can then, maybe by then the laws will have changed, but by then, I mean, the gains you will have, you won't even mind paying capital gains. And if you don't want to pay capital gains, of course, you can use your crypto as a loan, as a collateral, and borrow against it as well. That's a very slick way of having it done. Anyways, I think we've done a lot today.
Doctor, one last more thing.
How about
Go ahead. Yes, I'm here. Talking of this decentralized wallets,
yes,
and how we use them for this DEXs trading. So with this high Ethereum gas fees,
yes,
is there a way that we can go around it, or we just leave with it like that? Keep your money on the Ethereum
2.0. there's a way you can go around it, Albert. So 2 ways. There are newer DEXs coming up that are planned to roll out on ecosystem platforms like Polkadot or Cardano. I know it's not ready yet, but I know Polkadot is also trying to do the same. Even Binance Chain is trying to do the same thing. So Binance Chain, I think, is going to be a very strong contender, even though they've not been making noise about it, but you can see the effect on the price of Binance coin. It's done over 100%. What am I saying? 150 or so in the last 1 week. What they are doing secretly is that they're creating their own platform as well, which is almost like the Ethereum blockchain, but it's cheaper, way faster, and will definitely probably match up Ethereum. So it might not be able to give you the smart contract functionalities that you get from Ethereum in terms of the full-blown smart contract functionalities, but in terms of DEXs and decentralized finance, I think Binance Chain will be a good substitute. Cardano is angling to take that position because of the high gas fees, but I think Binance is more positioned because Binance already has the chain functional. They already have Trust Swap. They already have all these other decentralized tokens.
Swap.
I don't know about that Cake Swap. I think it's Mr. Kinkley that can talk about Cake Swap. It's the Cake Swap merchant stars. He's become a billionaire with Cake Swap. So they have those tokens and they have the platform already. So
please don't joke with that coin though. Don't joke with that coin.
That coin has the way you say it is like you can't mess up with that coin.
Oh, the coin has less than 200 million total cap, and they are still burning. They are burning on a daily basis. They're burning the coin on a daily basis.
BNB. Are we talking about the Cardano?
No, not even Cardano. It's our Cake Swap.
Where do you find that?
It's on Binance.
Oh, Cake Swap.
Yes. Yeah. That's
like Dr. Damien.
Yes.
I wanted to find out.
Yes.
There are 2 coins that I saw, and I'm just studying them. They like DAO, is it DAO or DOA now? Looks like a token that was just launched like a few days ago, and went way up to by over 3,000%. I saw Lina Finance today as well, and I think it was a token launched 29th of December or so. Now, is there? How do you get wind of token launching, and how is the best way to approach those kind of green tokens in the market?
So, note of caution. High risk. High reward is equal to high risk. So, if you see any coin, let me look. It's linear. I did see somebody mention CoinMarketCap, but I'm sure it's on CoinGecko. There are most of them are DeFi tokens. DeFi meaning decentralized finance, and the reason they pump so much like that is because most of them are not launching on regular exchanges like Binance. They're launching on DeFi exchanges, which are called DEXs, and those DeFi exchanges, they run by what you call automated market makers. Automated market makers are the people that set the price to buy and to sell a particular cryptocurrency. So if the market maker says that I want to buy at gaps of $10, it means that and I have 10 units available at $10, it means the next unit is available at 20, the next is available at 30, the next is available at 40. If somebody comes and say, I want 1,000, it means you're going to get about 10,000% price gain all of a sudden, because the other book is that spaced out. However, in a centralized exchange, most of the time the order book is spaced out by unit numbers. So the price may not be able to go up as much if somebody just buys bulk. So the reason why many of those coins that are listed on these decentralized wallets are going up so fast is because the order book are very small. So you maybe have maybe 10 or 5 orders across the world, or 20 sometimes. So, and if they are 5% or 10% or 15% apart, the next price, the system is just going to go to the next available price to pick the order. And the order price that is shown is the last price at which a token was sold. So if you take Lina, for instance, Lina has done 20% in the last 24 hours. You can see the whole trading volume of Lina is £26,000, which is about less than 1 quarter, a little above 1 quarter of the market cap. The market cap is $83 million. $83 million about 110. £83 million about 110 million pounds. It has a circulating supply. So circulating supply is less than 20% of its total supply of 10 billion. Is this 10 billion? Yeah, that's 10 billion. So it has circulating supply of 1 billion. So even though it's pumping, there's so much on issued tokens sitting in this coin. So as I said, high risk, high reward. It can pump 100%, but it can also dump 90%. Let me give you an example. Where's this coin? There was some. I'm looking for one that I think Dexy is doing well. Dexy is doing well. So I have tons of those ones, but they're high risk. You don't want to put your money in high risk, high reward stuff, because if it dumps bad. If it pumps bad. But you're better off, especially if you're not an advanced trader, you're better off just sticking to the majors. I mean, in terms of the major, I think I've given a number of coins. I gave some last week, and I told the reason behind some of those coins. And then I gave some odds during the week on the WhatsApp group as well. Those ones technically, at least, are going to make you 100% of your money back in the next 6 weeks at the minimum. I can guarantee that. Now, some of them will make as much as 10%. 10x. It seems insane, but you will see when the time comes in the next 12 weeks. But some of them will make some of them will make a lot more than that. But I just don't want to say that so that it won't look like this guy is shining dust. But this is all season, so you expect the prices to
just give one now.
One. I already gave one today now. I already gave you one today.
Yeah.
This coin came out, I think it's in December. Lit entry.
LIT.
So it's showing in pounds. LIT. There are 3 other coins that are LIT, but this is lit entry. Okay. Lit entry is supposed to be like
Ogawale, you want everything.
The way that you can buy everything.
In fact,
I
love the wheel of Ogawale. I love your wheel, sir. Thank you. Keep it up. You're helping some of us.
So yeah, it's
you auditors here, you are too many.
It does I already dropped it on chat. I already dropped it on chat earlier in the day, on the WhatsApp chats. It's called Lit Entry. It's quite expensive, but I think it's a good buy. You make at least 10x from this one. Another one that I gave last week was what's this guy's name? Strax. And Strax has even not picked up now. It's not picked up now, Stratis, but it's also showing potential to do some supernormal profit. Okay, it's picked up. I think I bought it at it's picked up. Oh, it's picked up since last week actually. I bought it at 50p last week. Yeah, it's picked up actually. It's picked up significantly.
Yeah,
I bought at 50p when I announced it. Of course, you all know Swissborg. I've talked about Swissborg fantastic on Swissborg. He wants to buy Piccadilly Square. With the way Swissborg is going, I hope he's not going to come earlier than planned to buy Piccadilly Square. Yeah, Swissborg is still going on. I think it reached $1 at some point last week. Then I had which one?
I think I should thank you for that, Swissborg.
Send the fish. Yeah, so there are coins like that new coins.
Then Kusama as well.
Kusama is Kusama is a major. So the reason Kusama added Kusama, and I told everybody to buy Kusama, is not only because, of course, I made profit from Kusama last year. I think I sold it for double the price I bought it last year. But I bought it back because it's gearing up to catapult into new levels. So see, circulating supply is 8 million. 8. And it's 80% of the maximum supply. So even if you add the 2 million, it's not enough to cause any significant disruption. And because Kusama is a governance token for the Polkadot ecosystem, anything that is happening on the Polkadot ecosystem will affect the price of Kusama. So as the Polkadot ecosystem is getting busier and busier, Kusama is automatically going to be gaining in price. Don't quote me, or I think Kusama will do more than 10x from today's price. In fact, I can tell you categorically that it will do 20x, but I don't know when. But this year, I expect that this is going to turn to 1,000 or more at some point. Because these are real, they are not just speculative assets. These are high value tokens that are doing real life job, quote and unquote. They're delivering value in the real world. So it's a very valuable token. And I mean, as I said, we made some money off it last year. Another one that somebody was asking me about, I think it was SeaCoin. SeaCoin, even though it's a very cheap coin in terms of price, it's actually a very valuable coin because it's like trying to put what's the name of this app that is Dropbox. They're trying to put Dropbox on blockchain. That's what SeaCoin does, and it's currently very cheap. It's zero. What's this now? This is 10 cents, 1 cent. It's like 0.8 cents. So SeaCoin is actually very, very good. It's quite cheap. But take note of all the ones I mentioned in times past. I don't have them off the top of my head now. You have the potential to make some significant profits. If you get in now and sell when I tell you to sell, you will make some huge money, no doubt. I follow CoinBureau. I follow CoinBureau because he actually has very good analysis and insights in the markets. Algo is good. Algo is going to perform. And it's already performing. I mean, Algo is already performing. You have Ontology, you have Omsigo, quite a large array of coins that are already doing well, and they're going to do well. But the ones that are mentioned on the charts, they're going to do significantly well. Let me pull up the chart. The ones that I mentioned last week, definitely, those ones that are guaranteed to give you some serious returns in the next 8 to 12 weeks, because we're in alt season, and you're going to see a lot of coins that have gone to all-time high in 2017. They will attempt to reach their all-time high again, just the same way Ethereum attempted its all-time high and broke the all-time high. Many of them will go back to their all-time high and attempt to break it. So that's the reason for some of those coins that we've called. We've covered quite a lot today, and I think last week's peak. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to open up my WhatsApp, because that's where I posted it. Who is this on the iPhone? I don't know, by the way. Can you please identify yourself? The person on the iPhone. Oh, Jamila. Okay, sorry. Jamila, I posted it now. I thought you were on. Okay, sorry. I thought you were on our WhatsApp group, or also the WhatsApp group. But I'll look for it and repost it tonight. I'll repost the coins. But basically, the fundamentals are there. There's some of those coins are coins that have been around since the last bull run, that are technically ripe for breakouts to their all-time highs, but they have not broken out yet. So many of those are coins like Neo, Stodge, XVG, Digibytes, Kaiba, Kusama, quite an Ontology, Omsigo. Yeah, I'll look for that sort of and resend it again on the WhatsApp group. But I think this is the time to farm Bitcoin with your altcoins. Then when the time comes, you can sell it back to Bitcoin or cash out, whichever way. Must be prepared to take profits. We take profits on the market and don't be left holding the bags at the end of the bull run this year. Okay, I think that has brought us to the end of this very interesting session. If you have any other questions, you can send me on the WhatsApp group.
Thank you so much.
If you're not on the WhatsApp group, let me know. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. And if I see any development also, I will tell you. I think maybe there's a coin you need to sell, or there's something that shows up on the markets, I will tell you as well.
Thanks, Aseva.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. We are most grateful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Demi. You too.
Thank you.
Dr. Laleri.
Thanks, Demi.
Have a good night.
Ẹ pè mí, ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀,
Okay, hold on.
AY.
Bye-bye.
Sir.